Hiya and welcome to our Swan School induction video, our first one of 7 that will be arriving to you over the coming weeks that are helping to induct our new Year 7s that are joining us in September. For those of you who know me, my name is Mr. Higgs and I'm the assistant head teacher here at the Swan School. This morning I'm going to be looking to give you a bit of an insight into the pastoral care within our school, the behaviour systems within our school, and also our elective programme. Hopefully leaving you with some more knowledge and information that will help prepare you for the transition. So start with our pastoral care and support within the school. So first of all, just sort of re-emphasise Miss Wood's message around we want every child to achieve more than ever believed possible when they come to the Swan School, and that does include reaching their personal potential, and we see it just as important as the academic qualifications. Now the reason we see it as important is because we know that growing up in the current society there are loads of challenges for our children. Just to name a few, for example, the image issues they have to face with their friendships as they go through school and as they change, social media and the dangers and threats and the benefits that comes with, but also those competition they'll face for university places and jobs. And that's why we know that it's a fundamental role for us as a school to make sure that children achieve their personal potential so that they can navigate all these challenges that they face, but also that they leave us with those softer skills that are going to allow them to get that job, to make that contribution, to build that family that they may have in the future, to really help them in that side of their life. So how do we support children at the Swan School? So firstly, we want every single child to have an excellent relationship with a form tutor. Now when they join us, they'll be placed into a form group that will be in with one of our 4 houses, and they'll have a form tutor that ideally will stay with them throughout their whole time. Now we want that child to benefit from an excellent relationship where that form tutor knows you and your child extremely well, so that you can raise any issues and concerns with them and then be in your first point of contact. Secondly, we have our house system. We have our 4 houses that are named after inspirational people that have a link to Oxford. So our 4 houses are the Hawking House, the Bannister House, the Berners-Lee House, and the Eustace House. And that really helps us to create that positive ethos within our school. We run lots of house competitions and events throughout the year, such as a tug of war competition, sports days, faculty interform competitions that really help to generate that community and that sense of belonging. Next, we have 40 minutes of tutor time every single day, and we take this time as the opportunity for us to really help educate the children about personal development and about the current issues in society. So we provide a really high quality centralised tutor programme that forms our pastoral curriculum that, as I said, we see as important as the academic curriculum. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what happens within that in a second. And finally, our pastoral support and intervention is really important for children. As they go through secondary school, they will need support from us at some point, whether that be something small, such as a friendship issue, or something a bit bigger around mental health and to do with exams. We are there for the children throughout the whole time. And 2 key figures around that for you will be Mrs. Mullin, who's our pastoral leader joining us next year at the Swan School and who's also an English teacher, and Miss Walton, who is our pastoral support champion, who provides great care for all children throughout their time. So in terms of our tutor programme, just to give you a little insight of what happens day to day within this 40 minutes of the day. So on Monday, we have an assembly which has a link to one of our school values, a message delivered, a story, really trying to drive home that message about being ambitious, kind, dedicated, and showing integrity. On a Tuesday, we have a personal development activity following our personal development curriculum. On Wednesday, we have a thought of the week, which is usually something topical linked to something that might be happening in the news. For example, this year when the election was going on, we had thoughts of the week linked to that. On Thursday we have planner signing, is our planner signing day, but also we have optional activities that crop up throughout the year. For example, student council, voting, trip information, or a house competition. Various things will happen throughout the time. And then finally on Friday, a real special time of the week when tutors present postcards to children that have earned them throughout the week, and they read out the postcard and they share it with their tutor group so everyone can recognise and celebrate the achievements. Now that forms 20 minutes of each day, and the second half of tutor time is guided reading, where tutors read selected text from English department to really help develop that love of reading that we have within our school. Okay, moving on to behaviour and routines. So just to echo what Miss Wood said in the information evening, we do have the highest expectations at the Swan School of behaviour and of hard work. And I'll talk about why in a second. We have a clear and consistent approach. Everything is clearly explained to children and parents throughout, for example, matriculation week and assemblies, and then it will be consistently applied. But one thing that's really important to get across is, as a school, we will always, as adults, behave calmly. We will always be really consistent with our behaviour. We won't be a school where children will get shouted at or get told off in public. It's a very calm atmosphere, and the adults are essential in the school to model that behaviour. So high expectations are important because we feel it allows all children to enjoy school more. It means they can go to school and learn in disruptive-free environments. It means bullying incidences will rarely happen. And it means they can just relax and socialise with their friends in a lot safer environment. We know it will increase student achievement. They'll work harder in their lessons. They will do better in their qualifications. And it will really help them to develop that good work ethic that will be vital for them when they go out into the workplace and want to make a contribution to society. It'll be really strong, good for them to have that strong work ethic of hard work being an important value. And finally, to resemble society, they will need to leave the Swan School and they will need to follow rules and laws, and it's important that we learn that's a part of life, that you have to follow rules and laws. So what do we do at the school? I've already mentioned about our adult behaviour, modelling calm behaviour and kind behaviour to children. We also have classroom routines that happen across the whole school every single day with every member of staff, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail with them in a second. And then we have our clear and consistently applied behaviour system, which includes recognitions and consequences. So in terms of our routines, these happen every single day in every lesson with every member of staff. For example, we have our whole school routines such as the line-up. That happens before school, at the end of break, at the end of lunch, where it helps children line up to transition back into focused lesson time. We have silent transitions of family lunch, but I'm going to let Miss Wood talk about those to you next week. And then we have classroom routines such as eyes, ears, track and working conditions. Teachers use these in every lesson. For example, eyes, ears, track, teachers say that when they want to signal the attention of students and talk to them. And it just gives them really, really clear routines that they know what's happening, they know what to expect. So the chance of them making a mistake and getting it wrong is very, very small. Next, I'm just going to talk to you about our behaviour systems that sort of underpin and support our adult behaviour in the school and our routines. So first of all, we have our recognition system, because all members of staff will turn their attention first to the positive behaviour in the room. They'll award house points for children that display in our school values, for example, contributing in lessons, working hard, supporting another member in the class. But when children go a little bit extra above and beyond, they will write them postcards online that get emailed home to parents and then presented into form time. And both of these contribute to that house system where they contribute to house competitions and house cups. Sorry about that, the classroom light went off. Next, moving on to expectation detentions. This is the start of our consequence system. So we have expectations that take place at lunchtime every single day. These are for automatic infringements of our basic expectations in the school, such as being on time, bringing your equipment. Now, we don't see these as a big sanction. We see these as small reminders to children that they have to be equipped, they have to be on time, they have to wear the correct uniform. And that allows us to communicate clear messages to all children about our expectations, but also sets them up to be successful, because being on time is really, really important. having your equipment and being prepared for your day is really, really important. So there's a strong chance that your child at some point will receive one of these detentions, and it's important just to remember they are small consequences to remind children of our basic expectations that are really important. But they help us create those high standards in the school that mean when children get to year 9, 10, 11, teachers are not wasting time handing out pencils or lessons being disrupted by groups of children arriving late. Now, we do have a zero tolerance approach to in-lesson behaviour. We want every teacher to teach in a disruption-free environment, and we want every children to learn in a disruption-free environment. And it's never going to be okay at the Swan School for another child to disrupt the learning of others. So we have a really, really clear system of how we manage that. Children will receive a warning if they're causing low-level disruption. This could be talking to their friend when they're meant to be working in silence, or turning around when you're meant to be listening to the teacher at the front. And if that behaviour continues after your really clear warning, you will then be removed from the lesson. Time will then be spent in our reflection zone, where you will have a conversation with a member of our pastoral team to reflect and restore what happens. Hopefully when you return, you've learnt from that experience. And then finally, we have after school detentions for minor incidences that may happen in the playground, before school, after school, that we need to follow up. Okay, moving on to our electives. So our electives programme is our enrichment offer, but at the Swan School we believe the electives enrichment is for all children. Every child should have the opportunity to benefit from these extra activities that they possibly never have done otherwise. So the overview of this, basically we have electives will happen twice a week for every single child. They will have an academic slot for year 7, that's on a Monday. For year 8, that's on a Tuesday. And then year 7 and 8 together will have the creative performance and community on a Wednesday afternoon. Now children will have to choose a different option each time. They'll get a range of choices each time, and I'm going to show you a few of those choices in a second. So 3 times a year they will choose an academic elective. And they can't do the same thing twice in 1 year, but when they move to the next year, they will be able to reselect things, and I'll show you an example of that in a second. So I do appreciate this is small on the board. This is an example of what the year 7s had opportunity to do this year. So you can see the academic options there: Mandarin, German, creative writing, debating. And then on the Wednesday options, you've got music, drama, team sports, volunteering, environmental awareness. So children will choose 3 options from the Wednesday offer. They'll choose 3 options from the Monday offer. They can't do the same one twice. But what's really important to note is obviously if German was on year 8 and you did it in year 7, you can do German as an extension again the following year. And that really is our electives programme. You know, we really believe these extra opportunities are really important for everyone to have the opportunity to try during their schooling. So thank you for watching. I hope that's given you a better insight into our pastoral care and support, our behaviour systems and electives at the Swan School. So next week you'll receive another email communication via myself, which will have a video in it next week, which will have a focus on family lunch and silent transitions from Miss Wood. Thank you very much for listening, and see you soon.